The U.S. is facing a demographic shift that's impossible to ignore. Fewer babies are being born, and more people are passing away. This isn't just a national trend, it's happening worldwide. But here's where it gets concerning. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, this imbalance between births and deaths is reshaping the country in profound ways. The big question is, what does this mean for the future of the nation? And why should you care? Between 2010 and 2023, the CDC reported a startling 10% drop in the number of births across the United States, while deaths surged by an alarming 25%. To put that into perspective, there were 3,596,017 births in 2023, a significant decline from years past. Meanwhile, the death rate saw a sharp acceleration, particularly during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when deaths jumped by 19% from 2019 to 2020 alone. This data comes from the latest National Vital Statistics Report, which offers a detailed look at how the population is evolving. What makes this report stand out is its focus on the period from 2020 to 2023, capturing the effects of the pandemic and its aftermath. Births and deaths, along with net migration, the balance of people moving in versus those leaving, are critical factors for understanding shifts in population size and structure. These changes ripple through society, influencing everything from social security and healthcare systems to economic growth. Historically, births have outpaced deaths, fueling population expansion. But now, for the first time in recent history, that dynamic has flipped, at least for the time frame covered in this report. Let's dive deeper into the numbers. The general fertility rate in the U.S., defined as the number of births per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44, dropped significantly from 64.1 in 2020 to just 54.5 in 2023. These figures are based on final data collected from all birth and death certificates registered across the 50 states and the District of Columbia. The consistency of this decline raises important questions about the long-term implications for the nation. But here's where things get even more nuanced. The impact of these trends varies widely depending on race and geographic location. For instance, the Black population experienced a staggering 17% decline in births, coupled with a 36% increase in deaths. In contrast, the White population saw a similar 17% drop in births, but a smaller 17% rise in deaths. Hispanics, who can belong to any racial category and were analyzed separately, showed a different pattern altogether. While their birth numbers remained relatively stable, deaths among this group skyrocketed by a jaw-dropping 79%. And this is the part most people miss. Urban and rural areas are experiencing these shifts differently too. Urban counties witnessed a 10% decline in births and a 27% increase in deaths, whereas rural counties faced a slightly steeper 12% drop in births, but a lower 19% rise in deaths. Interestingly, only 4 states reported a natural decrease, more deaths than births, in 2010. By 2023, half of all states had reached this tipping point. So, what's driving these numbers? A major factor is the aging population. As the percentage of older adults grows, those aged 65 and above, the death rate naturally climbs because older individuals tend to pass away at higher rates than younger ones. Between 2010 and 2023, the median age of the U.S. population increased from 37.2 to 39.1. Simultaneously, the proportion of people aged 65 and over rose from 13% to 17.7%, adding up to nearly 19 million more seniors. On the flip side, the number of young people under the age of 20 decreased by almost 1.7 million during the same period, shrinking their share of the population from 27% in 2010 to just under 24.4% in 2023. While the report focuses primarily on births and deaths, it acknowledges that net migration plays a crucial role in shaping population dynamics. However, since the study doesn't account for migration patterns. The picture remains incomplete. Additionally, the authors note that declining birth rates might reflect postponed childbearing rather than a permanent decline, a distinction that could alter projections in the coming years. One limitation worth highlighting is that only women of reproductive age contribute to birth statistics, while deaths can occur across all demographics. For example, an increase in deaths among older adults doesn't directly affect population growth because it doesn't reduce the pool of potential mothers. Still, the broader societal impacts are undeniable. This brings us to a thought-provoking question. Are we witnessing the beginning of a demographic crisis, or is this simply a temporary adjustment? Could policies aimed at supporting families and encouraging childbirth help reverse these trends? Or is it time to embrace a smaller, older population as the new normal? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think these changes are cause for concern? Or are they just another phase in the evolving story of humanity? Share your opinions in the comments below.